Today we're going to talk about how to form or crimp the end of a spring, a zigzag spring. You see here we have a zigzag spring, typically how it's arranged. You've got a spring clip on either side, and then the zigzag springs go from clip to clip. If you take a look at this clip very closely on this side, you'll see that because the end of the clip is just straight, it's fairly easy to slide it out. That's not good, because if people are sitting on that, after a while it could potentially move that, and then their clip would come out, and then they have problems with their springs. So how do you solve that problem? Well, one way is to crimp the end of the spring with a spring former. In other words, you bend the spring, take a look at this side, so that it bends up at the end. So that way, when you go to try to pull this side to side, you see it doesn't come out. Okay, so in these boxes are spring end formers. These are Osborne number 404 spring end formers. They're pretty much the industry standard. When you open this box, what you're going to find is the spring end former tool right here, and with it you get 3 bolts and 3 washers and 3 nuts. And there's also a little short instruction, but it's not the easiest to understand, hence the video, to help you understand it a little bit better. Now what I've done here is I have taken our spring end former and I have bolted it to the end of this little bench. And I'm going to show you how to use this in just a moment. So we've cut our spring to the size that we need. A lot of times people count bumps. This one has 10 bumps across it to get the width. You use your wire cutters or your cable cutters to cut it right at the center of the bump. So you can see my 2 ends are cut, but we haven't formed the end yet. So we're going to use this tool. Now if you look real carefully at this tool, and I'll pull this over to Leslie here. If you look at the bottom of the tool there's a hole. Okay? Now in that hole goes your spring. Okay? Now we'll come back to the one that I've mounted here. Right there again is your hole. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the end of the spring and place it in this hole, like so. So it's setting in there, and then we're going to lift this up until it catches on this little groove right there. Can you see that real careful? We're going to put this in the hole. We're going to slide it over to this groove right there. See that? Okay. In the hole, slide it over to this groove. Now all we're going to do now is go ahead and lift this, and this is going to bend the spring for us. Now you do want to be careful. You don't want to pull this too fast, because sometimes if you do that, the spring wire will break. So you do a little pull and stop, a little pull, stop, like that. Okay, I'm slowly forming the end of it. You can probably go a little bit faster, but you don't want to go super fast. And we keep going until the spring almost touches the end of my handle. Okay, then we let it down and lift it out, and you see there we've formed the end of that spring. Now we've got to do the same to this side. Again, we're going to put that into the hole like so. Then we're going to lift. We're going to pull a little bit, stop, and keep doing that until we've formed the spring end. There we go. Okay, and once again, we've formed the spring end. By forming the end of the spring, you can see the spring can no longer slide out very easily. So this is a great tool sold here at Fabric Farms Interiors, and that's how you form the end of a spring.